Welcome to a better conversation. My name is Tommy Israel. My mother did not give me that name. I gave myself that name with the hope that I could live by it, stand by it. And when it's all said and done, I lived up to it. We on a better conversation, the best hospitality podcast in the world by far. And you know, I only sit with people that I admire, that inspire me and motivate me in a positive direction. The young lady that's sitting next to me checks all three of those boxes. Mrs. Kenya Cyrus.
Hold on, before we get into me, we're gonna start with you.
Okay.
All right, but I got some questions, so I came prepared. You know, I got 3.
Okay, I'll take those. I'll take those.
I'm gonna look at my book, my Jesus book, y'all.
Okay.
But okay, so the first question is, why did you start this podcast?
I started this podcast because hospitality always been my way of getting back on my feet. As a young man, I got in trouble early, and I wound up needing a job. It was a dishwasher job, and that dishwasher job in hospitality at a great place allowed me to save up enough money to start a business, which was called Urban Horses, that became a multi-million-dollar business. That was a transportation company that started in urban America, that became the hottest car service in the late 90s into the early 2000s in the music industry. So I started this podcast because life takes turns and curves. Things got bad for me, and I wound up being back in hospitality. After 20, 30 years later, I'm in hospitality, and then I wound up meeting so many amazing people. And I said, yo, these people got great stories. And I wanted to be the leader in that space. I wanted to be the number one in that space. So I said, how can I leverage that? And I said, you know what? How don't I start interviewing all the dope people in this industry? And I said, you know what? I'm going to start a podcast. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I did. I started this podcast, A Better Conversation. It's not only hospitality, but it's also therapeutic. And people could talk about relationship, friendships, business, entrepreneurship, just life in general. And that's why I started this, for people to get their stories out.
So y'all heard that, y'all better pay attention, because he got some gems to drop for y'all.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
So now that you started your podcast, how many episodes are now in?
Right now we at 10. We had a solid 10. This will make 11. Yeah. I had some great episodes with some great people. I had CC, the OG of the part. He's the first one to make $100,000 on instrawork. Great guy. I had Zalima, the queen of the podcast. She the queen of the app. She came through. Eva came through. I mean, I had some amazing people. Amazing people.
She's a vibe.
That's a fact. I had some guys that I knew who had life in prison without the possibility of parole. And with that episode, we kind of like stepped out of hospitality to try to save lives. I said, these brothers already had life and got a chance at a second chance, and how they changed their lives around and was making money. I try to save a life of some young guys that was out in the street and could look at them and be like, wow, these guys was us in the street.
Right.
And then they can kind of see, we can look at them and say, oh, this guy driving a Bentley, this guy driving a Porsche. Maybe we don't have to go through the streets. Maybe we can do the right thing from the start and not have to go through Attica, Comstock, Clinton, all these federal penitentiaries and go through all this losing time from our families. And we can just start from where we at right now. And I brought those on. So those episodes was great. You know, I had Eva, she's amazing. I had True Frost, and I appreciate True Frost so much because he the one that said, you know what, let's go for it. When I presented the idea to True Frost, Andrew, he said, yo, let's go for it. Even though he had his rap career, he paused that to come and start the podcast with me and give me the inspiration to really go with it. So that's dope, you know, that's dope. We in 10 episodes in, man.
That's good. So y'all make sure y'all watch this podcast, because y'all can learn a lot from different episodes.
That's a fact.
In life in general.
That's a
because
fact.
One thing you said was you don't have to go through the streets, but a lot of people don't know about entrepreneurship, which we will talk about shortly.
That is a fact.
So the next question is, what's the end goal for the podcast?
The end goal with the podcast gained momentum, and I already had a company called ABETTA Staffing Solution. And I thought this would be like a great long commercial for that. You know what I'm saying? Because we in urban America, we don't sometimes with the weddings, and we don't get to do bar mitzvahs and weddings that have that beautiful staffing. Our baby showers don't have that beautiful staffing, that white glove service when people are delivering the food to your table. We used to buffet style and just going to the buffet and getting the fries and getting the wings. You know what I'm saying? We're not used to being delivered the food and being served and the wine being poured for them. So that's where the better staffing solution is. It's an elegant staffing company that goes in these great events and to our people to see our people when they work hard and they save their money for these events. They need to be served. They need to be delivered to. They need to feel that how much their hard work has paid off. And that's what a better staffing solution is. And this is a long commercial for a better staffing solution because it allows our people to have an opportunity to see what their hard work provides on their great events and their times. Like we create memories for them, not nightmares. So when their event is going, things can get crazy. We have the best in the business where we know how to soothe those things. Okay. Yes, but enough of me. Let me get to you, Kenya. Hey. How are you today? How you feeling?
Listen, I'm feeling good. I went to church, rested, God bless everyone. And it's Sunday, so I definitely started my day off right with going to church. There's a lot of things that come into play. Like before, I used to pray, and that was it. But now that I started going to church, I have a community, and so it's a lot better for me because I see the growth in me. Because I wasn't always so professional or spoke a certain type of way. Right. So I had to develop into this person. Right. So, right. My day is good. What about yours?
Not bad at all. I feel amazing to get you on the show. I know you have so much going on. You have your independent contracts. You have your own business. You have church, and you have life in general. That the book you, and for you to say yes was an honor to me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm so happy to be here with you today. So I have to open the question with where you from and how you got there, and make sure you stay on that mic because we don't want to miss a single word of what you got to say.
Okay, so where I'm from Brooklyn, New York, Crown Heights. My parents are from the Caribbean, so they were born in St. Vincent. My mom was born in St. Vincent, and my dad was born in Aruba, which later on moved to St. Vincent with his mom, his dad. You know, they moved when they were young. So the person that initially brought my mom up here was my grandma. You know, rest in peace, grandma. That was my favorite person in the world. But it just taught me a lot of values because my family was always so giving. Like, as a young person, they would always take us back to the Caribbean. So I would enjoy that life, you know, because up here is a little bit cold. Around certain times, it get cold. In the Caribbean, it don't get cold whatsoever.
What part of the Caribbean? Caribbean is a wide. Like, what part?
So St. Vincent.
St. Vincent.
St. Vincent and the Grenadines, for y'all don't know, because a lot of people don't talk about it. Thank God, right? Because we don't want the U.S. to start doing things down there. We don't need that. But, yeah, so the Caribbean is really nice. St. Vincent, they have Beckway, which really, really amazing. If you want to have a chill time, like just enjoy quiet, peace, just meet people with hospitality, go to the Caribbean and get out your comfort zone. So yeah, so I guess that's why I'm so nice.
That's a fact.
People are like, "Oh my God, are you mixed? Like you look foreign." I'm like, my parents are Caribbean. I was born in the U.S. Like, but I still I'm Caribbean all day, every day. You know,
because I can contest to the niceness. Because we be at great. We're gonna get into hospitality. That's my next question. But what you said is nice, and I noticed we do big corporate events and with independent hospitality contracts, and then you're so nice. I see gentlemen that you might speak to, and they be like, "Oh, she like me." I said, "No, she's just nice. No, she doesn't have a crush on you. She's just nice." So I asked you, what led you into the hospitality industry?
So, as I grew up, I went to high school for, I don't even remember. But I know I went to college. I wanted to be a chef. I thought I wanted to be a chef, right? So I was going to school to be a chef, you know, didn't pass some classes. So I was thrown into tourism and hospitality. And that's where I got my associates in tourism and hospitality. Then I went on to get my bachelor's in hospitality management. And honestly, guys, if you're going to school, please make sure you're passionate about what you do. I don't even remember what I learned in school, honestly. All I know is meet people, network, try new foods, take pictures. And be nice.
That's it. That's key. What do you think because I see you in these, when we get these independent contracts, sometimes people have great skill sets and they're able to do so many vast things. Sometimes I see you have a contract for event service, or you might have a contract for your company to do bartending. Like, where do you think your best skill set is set at?
My best skill set? Best skill set is talking. Honestly, like, I used to be so introverted, but, so, little backstory. I was very introverted, so I noticed that when I went out with my friends and I drank, I was more of a social butterfly. So I tried to figure out how to get that out instead of, because I don't drink no more, even though I'm a bartender. I be bartending sometimes. Right. But I learned how to bring that out of me by being an entrepreneur. So I love talking to people. Because when you talk to people, you learn a lot of different things. Like, even if it's something small, you learn a lot of things just from having conversations with people, especially people from around the world, even tourists, people that's not from here. You learn a lot, different cultures, just different things. So I'm just a generally nice person, and I think that talking to people is the best skill that anyone can ever have, because if you learn how to talk and learn how to have a conversation, problem solve, you will always win in life. And then bartending comes next, because I learned that during the pandemic. And I always wanted to learn how to bartend. I don't know why. I just always thought it was a form of art, because I love art. So it don't matter what it is, whether it's paintings, cooking, bartending, I love it all. So I was just like, I'm gonna get into it all. Interior design, I learned how to do that during the pandemic. So I'm just like, you're gonna do it.
That's amazing. I have seen you at some of the most great, amazing companies like D.E. Shaw. I seen you at Google. I saw you at the Caveen, $300+ million corporations. But I never. You said you went to school you wanted to be a chef, but I never saw you behind a chef's table. Do you do that? Do you still have the love for that, or do you still do that, or do you think the corporations it just takes that away with all of their nonsense?
So honestly, you would not see me in a chef coat. I cook at home. I cook for my friends, but cooking for people all day, every day, I think not. I learned that when I did my internship when I was getting my bachelor's. I had to work in a restaurant for hospitality. Well, I had to work in hospitality, like have an internship in hospitality. So one of my friends have a restaurant, and I told him, hey, I need an internship. Can I work for you? You don't have to pay me. Just let me get the experience so I could put it on paper. Right. And so I was a prep cook for him. So I was prepping the food. And honestly, that experience, like, I love cooking and prepping and all of that good stuff, but not on a large scale. I love it on a small scale. Well, it's me, my friends, you know, like a small group. Right. Cooking for large sums of people, that threw me off from being a chef. I just realized that I wanted to be an owner of restaurants and things like that. And I also worked in a hotel.
Okay. What hotels? Do you mind mentioning everything?
So I worked in a hotel in Baltimore. Ooh. It's not open anymore, but that was my first real hotel experience, because in New York it's hard. When you get your bachelor's, don't think you're going straight into the hotel industry. You need to know somebody or have experience, which is how you're going to have experience coming out of school.
Show me that journey, though. Show me that journey, because you're from New York, East New York, but you said you worked in
Crown Heights.
Crown Heights.
Yeah.
So show me that journey, because you in Brooklyn. How did you get that job in Baltimore, which is a rough city and can get crazy, but they have a lot of elegance to it?
Yes.
Like the harbor and other places like that.
So amazing.
Like, how did you get that position?
Oh, you about to make me cry. Y'all about to be crying. No, but in all honesty, when I was going to school to get my bachelor's, I was working 2 jobs. So most people can't fathom working 2 jobs and going to school. So I was working 1 full-time job. I was going to school full-time and working a part-time job after school. So I really didn't have any time to sleep, think, or anything like that. But during that time, my grandma passed away, which I told y'all that's like my favorite person in the whole wide world. So R.I.P. to her. And when she passed away, I didn't have any time to process it because I had so much things going on. I was focused on getting my degree for her. So it kind of like, it was kind of like a hard time. But I didn't switch up what I was doing. I just kept going through the flow. And I had to put my feelings in the back of my mind because if I would have thought about it, you probably wouldn't be sitting talking to me right now. I probably would have been nowhere in life. But after that happened, I told my jobs, and it was like a slap in the face because they don't really, I guess they don't really care. So they only gave me 3 days, and going back to the Caribbean, it takes a long time before the pandemic. So I was just like, wow, like I dedicated all my time, my hard work to this company, to my managers, and you're like 3 days. Like, what is 3 days to a person that's going that's not in the state? Like, so after that, I was like, you know what? I'm leaving New York, and I'm definitely quitting after school because I was paying for tuition. Tuition was $3,000 each semester, $3,000 and some change each semester. So I couldn't quit my job at that point. So I had to keep thugging it out, whether I liked it or not. And that's what a lot of you guys need to do: thug it out, even though you don't like it or not, right? Until you get to where you need to be.
Do what you got to do now, so you can do what you want to do later.
Yes, speak that, right? But after that, I quit my jobs, but I had a friend that lived in Maryland. She was going to Morgan State University. So she worked at the hotel and told me they was having a hiring day. So I went up there just for the day, just to do that interview. And then I came back down to go to work the next day. But because I have such a bubbly personality and I'm like really a hard worker, I guess they seen through conversation. So they hired me and put me on the schedule. And so that's how I got into the hotel, guys. And I loved it.
In Baltimore, so you had to move to Baltimore.
I moved to Baltimore. Honestly, I hope I hope they don't see this, because I was definitely staying on campus with my friend, and nobody knew.
Wow, that is dope. That's what the grind is
like,
about.
She had to hide me, and when the RAs or whatever you call them came to check, I had to be out that door. I couldn't be in there with them because then they would kick them out. Right. So thank God they don't know who it is. But
great sacrifice. Sacrifice.
Yeah. So I was working up there. Working in a hotel, and then after 4 months I got a promotion and started working in a bank as well. So I was working 2 jobs. Because afterwards I was like, listen, I need to own my own restaurant, my own hotel, because I love the hotel industry. It's very nice. Right. The aesthetic is really nice too as well. So if you're very creative, you can have your own things. So I was just like, okay, if I want to have a business, I have to learn the financial aspect of that. And so that's why I went into banking, going to work for a bank. But then you learn, you don't learn nothing with the bank. They don't teach you financial literacy. Right. Like, for you to learn that, you have to know somebody that's financially literate already. So you have to be in a space where millionaires and billionaires type of thing, or you go to school, or you met somebody that went to school that was paying tuition of $60,000 or more. So when you work at a bank, it's just like, what? People praise the bank, and I'm just like, they're BSing you. It's not all that cut out to be. Like, if you want to have just a regular job, because it's a regular job. Right. I don't know how much they make. I guess some people can make 100,000. I'm not too sure. I never met somebody that made that much in a bank. But it's just like, I was like, wow.
Do you think that grind of 2 jobs, do you think that grind come from that Caribbean instance of you? Because Caribbeans are known to work so hard. Because everybody don't want to do 2 jobs. You did 2 jobs. Do you think that grind came from somewhere in your heritage, your ancestors that gave you that grind and grit? Because as being a pretty, and I'm just going to say this to me, I don't know how you feel, but being an attractive young lady, sometimes people feel that's their job. Oh, wait, I'll just get this guy who's hustling. I'll just get this guy who's scamming. I'll just get this NBA player or NFL player to take care of me. You went the opposite route and said, let me just get mine on my own. Where did you think that grind came from?
I think that grind came from my grandma, because she used to work so hard. And then I saw my dad work hard. He used to go to work even though he didn't want to go to work. He would go to work limping, with pus on his leg, all different types of things. So I was just like, well, damn, I have to be like my father and my grandma, but I have to do things different. I don't want to work a job for 40 years and then retire. Like some people don't even save money, so you're not retiring. You're relying on Social Security, and then you have to go back to work. So it's just like I don't want to be like that. No shade to them, but it's not for me.
Right.
And I just always want to have my own because growing up, my mom didn't work, and so she always had to depend on my dad to give her money.
Right.
So I was like, ooh, I don't like that lifestyle. Like, I need to get my own money and then have somebody that got money too, so we coexist.
Wow.
So yeah.
That's dope. I get that. I get that coming from you because I remember meeting you at a big corporate event. Not even meeting you, but seeing you in passing. And then just watching you, because I'm an observer. You know, I come from a different era, been through so many different decades and different situations. I like to observe, right? So I see you, I said, wow, she's different. She stands out. I've watched her and I'm like, wow, her presentation is so good. The way she's doing her job, the way she's greeting people, she's excellent. I said, in this hospitality, in this app thing that we was doing at the time, I said, because we had independent contract, but we had to go through an app. So we was the independent contractor. We owned that company, which was us, our LLC, which was us. But they was giving us a contract. And at this big grand event, I was watching you. I said, wow, she won't be here long. And then come to find out later when you started your own business, I'm like, wow, I knew that. What was it in you that wanted you, or would inspire you at that moment in life that said, you know what, I got to start my own? Like, what was that said, I want to start my own business?
So I already had a business. I was just using that money to fund my business. What made me want to go into business for myself is that why would I work hard for the next man when I could work hard for myself? Well, man or woman, right? You know, because it's women business owners, it's men business owners.
That is true.
But why would I work hard for somebody else when I could work hard for myself? Like when we work a job or we work the app, it's like they tell us what we get paid for the service that we provide. When I could determine how much I want to get paid if I do my own thing. So that's what inspired me to want to be an entrepreneur, and I always wanted to be an entrepreneur. So I started working at 16 and a half, and I worked a lot of different things, and I was just like, I can't work for nobody. You telling me when to clock in, clock out, vacation. I like going to Canada to visit my brothers and my nephews. So if you could tell me like, oh, I can't go to Canada this Christmas because other people requested off and I have to stay down here. No, ma'am. No, sir.
That's I feel that. I really do. As an entrepreneur myself, I really feel that. But sometimes we do, like you did, give the credit, because those companies like Instawork or the Jit Jat Joes, which is the number one company by far that gives us the contracts by far, is Instawork. But what you said that stuck out is that they was able to fund your dream, to give you opportunities to make the money to start what you're doing. So what are you into now? Like, is it still hospitality? Is it in something else that you're doing with this new business that you're on your own? Because I'm asking around. I'm like the OG. I'm the elder. So I ask them, when I don't see you, where's K Boogie at? Where's K Beautiful at? Where's she's at? And they say, oh, she started her own thing now. What is this own thing that you started? Like, what new business that you into now?
It's not something that I just started. I always been in it. It just fluctuated. Okay. I'm in finance, so I teach people financial literacy. I teach people how to save, get out of debt, and build generational wealth, which is very important for the youth and the older generation, because everybody feels like they know everything. They're good. You're not good until there's something that happened. How about your paycheck get cut in half? Like your salary get cut in half. Are you still good? No, you're not. You have to put some things in place for you to be good for the rest of your life. Like some people don't think about the long-term goal because they feel like they want to live their best life now. But like, okay, when you get to 65, you still gonna be living your best life? Like, you supposed to stop work and live your best life, but are you gonna be able to do that? They may not have Social Security, so you won't have that extra whatever, right? So you just have to make sure you secure yourself. And I felt like going into finance was the best thing to help people with, because if I wanted to learn financial literacy and I went to a bank and it did not teach me that, where are people gonna go? And if you don't have the money to pay for schools that teach you that stuff, then you're kind of just in with everybody else. You're working and you're working to pay your bills, enjoy a little bit of life, and restart the cycle all over again. That's not the life I want for me, because listen, I want my own yacht. I want my own private jet. Because when you have your own yacht, your private jet, you buy yourself back time. You don't have to take an airplane or get on JetBlue or American Airlines to fly somewhere, wait for that flight to get there. It may be delayed. Go through TSA. You don't got to do none of that stuff. You pack your bags. You get on your private jet. You'll be there in a certain amount of hours because you got your pilot.
Right. That's amazing to be able to think so far ahead. Because that's a couple. We're talking about $20-30 million talk right there. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think living in America, we are so blessed. That's not far-fetched.
It's not.
That you can make that if you know compound interest, how to invest, when to invest. All those things are important because all those things fall under financial literacy. But I have to ask you, owning this business, there must be pros and cons. Give me some of the cons of owning your own business when you think, because the check is not guaranteed at the end of the week. What are some of the difficult things that you have to go through owning your own business?
Honestly, I would say the most important thing and the most difficult thing is changing your mindset. When you come from being an employee and like just wanting to get a paycheck at the end of the week, it kind of stomps your growth, because you have to have the mentality to want to do things every single day in your business to be successful. Like, a lot of people think like to have a business is like a popcorn business. You started today, everything is smooth sailing for the rest of the time you have your business. No, it's not like that. Like, you're gonna have some hardships. You're gonna start off slow. You gotta put in the grind work for a certain amount of years for you to see the rewards of your fruit. Well, the fruit of your labor, right? But a lot of people, because of social media, back in the day, social media was not a thing for me. I'm 31, y'all, so I know I look young, but I'm 31, and back, you didn't see a lot of people having businesses because it wasn't really talked about. Now you see a lot of people having businesses, and all they show is the glamorous life. They talk a little bit about the grind and the struggles that they had before, but they don't show like the struggles or really talk about how they struggle to get where they are. Because a lot of people just see the glamorous stuff. They don't think about the stuff that they have to do before they get to the glitz and the glam. Right. Because those people right now, okay, they started their business. They live in their best life. They have a lot of money. They're teaching people how to do it, right? But the people that are, like, say, working a job and they're trying to get into entrepreneurship, they don't know that it takes a lot for you to change to get to that. Some people are bred into entrepreneurship but put into a job, right, and so now their mindset change. But if you start off young as an entrepreneur and then keep going that way, then you won't have such a hard time. Because if you start off 18, you jump into entrepreneurship, you won't even know what a job is. You're not gonna have nothing to fix with your mentality. Maybe a little bit, like, maturing and stuff like that. But other than that, So that was the biggest thing. That was the mentality. So give me some of the pros of owning your own business. Stepping out from independent contracting with hospitality. What's some of the pros of owning your own business? The pros is the money is good. I'm not gonna lie. The money is good. But what I would say is you need to learn like certain things of how to use your money and use the IRS to get the tax breaks, get the tax write-offs. Because if you have a business, you're making a lot of money and you don't know what you're writing off on your taxes, or you don't know how to get that tax break, you gonna be in trouble. You're gonna have to owe the government some money, and you're gonna be like, I don't even got that right now. I made the money, I spent the money. Well, you better learn a lot of different things. That's the one thing about being in business. When you go in business, you better learn what you're writing off for your taxes, how to get more tax cuts. A lot of things. That's where you come in with the financial literacy, because if they don't know that, you're the person to go to show them that. Because sometimes people get a break. What happens is they open up a t-shirt company and their social media is popping so much that they make $90,000. So they looking like, I made $90,000, but they forgot on the journey of that 6 months that they spent $70,000
to make the 90. So they only made 20, and they went and spent another 30 popping bottles and fronting and getting cars,
Louis
and
Vuitton,
now they're in
Gucci,
trouble. Yeah, now when they're in trouble, then they realize they behind the bucket. Now the tax time come in. And now they got to pay taxes on the money, and now we're in trouble because they say, I don't have that. So that makes it great where you come in, because that financial learning, you can point that out to them, that financial literacy, learning about the overhead, learning the difference between profit and revenue, which is extremely important. That's why I think your business is so important to these young people. I think that it would be great for them to get with you to learn financial literacy so they can be able to prosper when they catch a good break, to continue the momentum of that good break. What would you give advice to a young person, let's say 24, just out of college, wanting to start a new business? What would be advice from you through your experiences of what would be advice to them about when they're going into business? What would you say to watch out for?
Oh, I wouldn't say watch out, but make sure you do everything right. So when you're going into business, make your business plan. I know some people do shortcuts where they just start a business, don't even do the business plan. Do the business plan, because that shows the forecast of what you're going to be making, what you project. Get a loan from the bank. A lot of people don't want to go get a loan. Don't go to them big banks like Chase, Wells Fargo, whatever. You're not going to get a loan. I promise you. You got to be a corporation.
Right.
But go to the small banks in your area with your business plan, with some life insurance, right? Because a lot of people don't think about having life insurance, but people die every single day. And now we got GoFundMe's. Who's funding your GoFundMe if people paychecks is looking a little funny?
But it's true.
I'm sorry to say, but I'm not funding nobody GoFundMe. You should have had life insurance.
Sound like my son. That's what he says. My son may be like a aunt or die, and she might be like a distant aunt, and then they be like, "Oh, you got to give $1,000 at the funeral." My son would be like, "She was 70. She should have known." But
listen, no shade. People that's already struggling, how they giving $1,000 to a funeral?
Right.
People that's living paycheck to paycheck, how they giving money to a funeral? They already living paycheck to paycheck. How are they giving to you? That's what I've been seeing these GoFundMe's. I'm like, God rest that person's soul. But like, people is out here struggling.
But it's true.
People expenses meet their income. Literally no money to spend extra. So like, how do you manage that? You can't manage that. So not a lot of people is really given to GoFundMe's no more. Before the pandemic, maybe a little bit during the pandemic, people was giving,
Right.
But now people are struggling.
But it's true. But it's true.
The job market is crazy. It is not no jobs out here.
But it's true. I have to ask you this question because I want you to unpack life insurance, because people sometimes they don't even think about it. Can you unpack the importance of life insurance? Like, how important is that?
Yes. Let me say this, because I almost died like 3 times. I came close to death like 3 times.
Ooh.
So that's why I say I'm always blessed. Thank you, Lord Jesus. And I always bless other people. But when I was able to understand what it was, so when I started working in finance, I got my life insurance. Because listen, I watched a lot of Law and Order back in my time, right? Because that was the show for me.
Right.
So I knew about life insurance. I knew about investments. I knew about a big house. I knew about yachts. I knew about private jets. I don't know about y'all and what y'all watching, but that's what I knew about. So I knew I needed life insurance. And so as it was explained to me, I knew I had to get it, because when my grandma passed away, my family struggled a little bit financially, and I was like, well, damn, how come nobody told my family certain things so that we would be good? So I got my life insurance, and I made sure my family, my mom and my dad, had theirs, because it's like, no shade, but I was like, I don't want to take care of all of my dad's children.
Right.
Like my brothers in Canada, they're good.
Okay.
But like some of the ones down here, it's a little iffy. Right. So I know I'm the one that's going to be an entrepreneur. I'm going to be the one making the most money. So I would have to take care of my family members. I think that's a little ghetto. To me, I'm like, I got to take care of these. I don't even like them now.
Right. I got you. I know
but
the feeling.
I don't like them on Sunday.
I know the feeling.
But people should have life insurance. They'd be like, I'm not going to die. A girl from Roosevelt Island, she had her phone and dropped in the water. She went in the water with it. To go get that phone and never came back up.
Just like that, gone.
People drop dead every single day.
But it's true. Sometimes people don't even wake up from their sleep.
Right. But a lot of people think Okay, so on Instagram and TikTok, they talk about life insurance where you could do infinity bank and become your own bank. So you're gonna be the only person at your bank. If we talking about banks, you got a lot of people walking into a bank. Right. Chase, a lot of people walking there, even though stuff is a little sketchy with Chase.
Right.
People still bank with Chase, right? People still bank with Wells Fargo and all those other banks. But you gonna create your own bank and be the only person going to your bank? That ain't logical.
That.
Sorry,
yeah, that ain't logical.
Yeah. So people, they talk about infinity banking with what is it? Index universal life insurance, and I'm like, people be BSing y'all, and y'all just be sitting here.
So what do you recommend when it comes to life insurance? What do you recommend? Like what
well,
if I came to you
in that industry? I would say buy term insurance and invest.
Break that down.
So that's just regular life insurance, but it's a term, so it could go up to 35 years, depending on the state that you live in.
Okay.
Whole life is just up until you're the age of 100. So
do you get more from buy life and whole?
So whole life it's like a life insurance with the savings vehicle attached. You don't get the full amount until you turn 100. So if you got like $100,000, you don't get that until you turn 100 years old.
But people might say, well, I might not even live to see 100. They're going to keep all my money if I die at 90 and then they get all the money. So
that's the whole life, right?
That's whole life.
Because people want to borrow money. Why would you want to? You're putting the money into this product. So essentially, it's all your money.
Okay.
You want to borrow your money? Do you go to the bank, opens a checking account, and be like, okay, I want to borrow $500, even though you just put it back in? You put it in there? No. Do you don't want to borrow that, right? So why would you want to borrow from something you put your money into?
So if a person died before 100, do they still get the sum of the money?
They get the 100,000, but the cash value goes to the company. That's what a lot of people don't know. Tricks for kids.
Would they be able to take care of their family and pay for their burial funeral?
If they did not borrow any money from the policy,
they would be able to, because their family would be okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But with the reason why I say buy term and invest the difference is because when you buy term, it's cheaper.
Okay.
Well, it's cost effective. The professional term is cost effective.
Okay.
When you're investing, you can invest in different savings vehicles that give you a percentage, in which it works out for the long run. So that's why I say buy term and invest the difference, because you don't need to have the life insurance for your whole life, just for a certain amount of time so that you build that money up. So say if you had $200,000 in life insurance, you save your money until you get to $200,000. Now, do you really need that life insurance policy? Unless you have assets like a business or like a house or what have you, and you want to leave it to your family.
Amazing for you to unpack that for us like that. I would like to ask you this. In business, what is your goal? Like, what's your goal? Where you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years? Like, what's your goal in business?
So my goal in business is in the next 5 years to be at $1 million. Well, I'm going to be past $1 million, but we just going to say for now.
In liquid.
$1 million, $1 million liquid cash. I'm gonna have kids, so have those. Kids.
You have anybody in interest? Somebody that you thinking about?
No.
Is he there? Oh, not yet.
He's not there. He hasn't stepped into my life yet. God will bring him when it's time for that. Right. And just be able to touch as much people and help them with their finances as possible. Wow. That's in the next 5 years. Yep.
Yeah, that's dope. That's so. See, that's why I started this podcast, because we're in hospitality, but you see so many people with great stories and great situations outside of hospitality, and you're a perfect example of that. And I would like to ask you this question.
Go ahead, I'm ready.
If you had a person, it's 3.
Okay.
If you had a person that you can sit down with on a Monday and just talk business with, dead or alive, who would that person be? And if it was a person that you can just party with on a Friday, just party and have a great time with and ask them question, who would that person be? And on a Sunday, a person that you can sit down and have a genuine heart-to-heart question and answer with and conversation with on a Sunday, who would that person be? Let's start with a Monday. What would that business person be, dead or alive, that you would sit down and have a great conversation with?
Damn, I don't know who the person would be
on a Monday.
Like,
a great business
I have to
person.
name their name?
Yeah, because you have to know. You have to be somewhere. It could be Oprah. It could be grandmother. It could be someone that's in business that you can take some value from. Like me sitting with you right now, I'm taking value from you. Who would that person be on a Monday night at a dinner table having a great conversation with on a Monday night? Who would that person be?
Damn, I never really thought about that.
Do you think about people that you would love to talk to?
So I would. It's not people that you guys know. It's people
that's great.
In the business.
Don't matter. It's
so,
your person.
One person that I would like to sit down with and like have a conversation with over coffee on a Monday morning would be her name.
Oh, let's please tell me about. Please.
Okay. Well, she's in the same business I am. She was $2.5 million in debt when she joined the business. And now she's making $1 million. Yes. Okay. But that's because she did what she had to do to make it to that step in her life, right? And so I just see it as grinding, and she had a child, so it's just like,
wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That I like that. I like Tanya. I got to look her up and Google her and dig into her story because I love backstories of it all. Let me ask you about a Friday. A Friday, just someone to just let loose with on a Friday. Just let loose and just chill with and party and just get in their ear and ask them certain questions, but you can party with them. They vibe is good. Someone that you think that will be great to just have a great time with on a Friday night. Who you think that person would be?
To party with?
Yeah, just party. Just have a great time with.
Who do I like?
It could be a singer, it could be an actress, it could be a businesswoman, someone that it could be a family member that you can just have a great time with and ask them some questions.
I don't know their name, but I'm going to say one of these ladies that I follow on my Instagram, she has a restaurant and yeah.
Her restaurant is bubbling. I'm assuming her restaurant.
It's bubbling. It's getting more attraction on Instagram, but I feel like because I want to have a restaurant, I would want to sit down with her. We could party or whatever because, you know, when you party, you are still talking about business as well. So,
right. Because I got a friend, my friend Luke Steffen, he owned multiple restaurants. I might have to plug you into the gentleman. He's out of Queens. Right now, he's into film, but he had about 3 restaurants already. Right now, he's controlling Tubi. When it comes to film, he's not controlling Tubi, but he has a lot of films released on Tubi, and he's helping a lot of people get on Tubi. But he had restaurants in Queens and Atlanta. Great brother that you might want to speak to as far as comes to restaurant. We had him on an episode. Great individual. And then now when it comes to Sunday, a nice Sunday brunch, who do you think that you would like to sit down? Could be your grandmother, could be anyone that you would like to sit down and ask some questions to on life. Who would that person be for amazing brunch and why? So if it's grandma, like what questions would you ask grandma about you and how you doing in life?
So I would sit down with my pastor and my first lady, which is, you know, they're a married couple.
Right.
Only because I want to get an insight of what it is to have a great relationship, what it is to have, you know, challenges in your relationship, and how do you keep your marriage going strong with Christ. Right. You know?
So what do you give me 3 qualities of a man that you see that's like, I need these 3 qualities in a man. I need these 3 to be with me because I know where I'm going. I'm Kenya. I know where I'm going. You need to bring these 3 qualities to be able to come with me as a package deal. What are those 3 qualities that you're looking for in a man?
Okay, so he has to be an entrepreneur or have an entrepreneur mindset. Like,
so he can't be in Wall Street making $750,000 a year. He can't work for DE Shaw as a hedge fund or Google making $1.2 million.
You didn't let me finish. Look at you jumping the gun. You jumping again.
Okay.
I said he got to be an entrepreneur, or he could be working a job and have the mindset of probably going into entrepreneurship, but just don't have the direction or maybe. So that's one. Respect and personality, because we gotta be able to laugh. Like I like to laugh. I like to talk smack. So if we can't do that. Like, yeah, no, it's not gonna work. I don't like boring things. I'm like adventurous, like funny. I like doing random.
Spontaneous.
Yeah, I'm very spontaneous and random. So like, if we can't be random and spontaneous, it's not gonna work. I don't like boring. I'm sorry.
Okay. And give me one more. He has to have one more quality. That's 2. Give me one more quality he must have. Can he be in? He has to be in shape. Can he have a pop belly and still be okay? Does he has to be? Tell me about this man, ideal man. You don't sit back and dream, because I dream about the ideal woman my ideal woman.
He gotta be tall and slim. I don't like anybody with a dad belly. If he have a dad belly, he gonna have to work that out and get it small. Because I'll be like, dad belly, no.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah,
that honesty. But he has to be.
Somewhat
concern of his health.
Yeah, concern of his health. Yeah,
because it's about the long run.
Right, and I'm a vegetarian, so like you got to be open to, if you eat meat, like you got to be open to dating somebody that's a vegetarian and not have a problem with it.
So let me get your, before we get out of here, let me get your 3 non-negotiables. If he's this, he's that, it's non-negotiable. I'm not going to do it. What's your 3 non-negotiables?
If he's disrespectful, he's not getting anywhere near me. Sorry, no. 2. Damn.
Be honest. No,
like,
you
I
know.
never really thought about that.
You know, if he's broke and he's homeless, he's definitely non-negotiable. So you know your 3.
Like somebody could be broke and still be able to come out of where they're at. Yeah.
So how do you see that in him, though?
Just can't be poor.
How do you see that in him, though? How do you see that?
Just with actions. Yeah.
Actions.
So that's not a problem for me, you know?
And give me one more non-negotiable.
What is another one?
It gotta be a non-negotiable. Someone like, you look at,
he gotta be okay looking. Okay. I don't date ugly.
Okay, so he has to be some kind, because you're thinking children in the future. Is that the reason?
Just for me to have somebody to look at, like,
is that good eye candy?
Yeah.
So you want to wake up to someone?
No, he could look okay. Like I don't care for the
extra
so
fine.
Good looking.
You don't want to be so fine. Really he's in a mirror all longer than you. His hair longer than you. You don't. He has to be okay.
I don't mind. Yeah, just no ugly ones.
No extra ugly. Let me add, because then if we don't say extra, then that knocks me out the box and I'm done.
Okay, no
extra
ugly.
No, okay, just as long as he's average. Let me ask you this in closing. In closing, I would like to ask you this question. In closing.
Damn, you made me think about the non-negotiables.
Yeah. You have to have that in your file, because you don't want nobody creep into you, because you're such an amazing soul. I want to make sure that soul grows. I don't want nobody tapping into that. Someone that's using drugs, somebody that's gambling too much, someone that's drinking too much. I don't want them near you.
Non-negotiable is you got to be willing to at least go to church with me. If you don't want to go to church, nah, you can't be with me. I'm sorry.
So I'm
too much with God.
He has to be able to get up for Sunday.
Some Sundays. Like, you don't have to go every Sunday, but you got to go some Sundays with me.
2 out of 4? 2 out of 4 is okay?
Yeah.
Oh, we did 2 out of a month. That's
2 or
cool.
1. You just got to go.
You got to get one of those. And to the big church events, he has to be there. On the big church. My last question. To open up a business, what be this dream business that you be? Money wouldn't matter. So let's go out of the business that you're in now. Money didn't matter. But it has to be a business that be able to fund lives of others where money didn't matter. If it's your dream, it's your passion, and you can open up this business, what business would this business be? That, because money didn't matter at this point. You already at your 20 million mark. You're already good. What business you won't open that would support other people and make them smile? That you love, though?
A church.
A church.
Yeah, honestly, I wouldn't open, because that's a nonprofit, right? A church is a nonprofit. So,
but it have to be able to pay salaries, though.
Okay, that's
and
fine.
Churches do pay salaries.
So I wouldn't. I would just own the church and give it to a pastor. Because, that's blessing other people. So. Yeah, a church.
And then we have to be able to fund. It would have to be.
I got a lot of things on my radar.
Like, come on, we got 2 more minutes. Come on. What would it be? Okay, it would be hotels.
I'm doing.
It would be a hotel, because you got to love it. Though. You have to love it.
I love hotels. It's just I don't want to work in one.
You don't have to work in one. You want to be able to where you're not worried about the profit, but make sure that lady who does the beds, she's okay.
Yeah.
The man at the desk.
Yeah, you gotta think about think about them people too, because they was what make your hotel run. If they're not cleaning the rooms, if then you don't have housekeeping, then your hotel is shut down. Nobody's going into a dirty room. So church, hotel, restaurant, and I need an airport.
Oh, the whole airport?
A whole airport.
Oh, where would you be this? Come on, last question. Where would this airport be?
Right here in the U.S.
In the U.S., but where? Because you ain't getting one in New York. This
LaGuardia.
JFK, LaGuardia. How you going to get the airport? You want to knock LaGuardia off?
Well, no, I'm at airline, sorry. Airline. I'm going to get my own airline, yeah.
Okay. People have done that. JetBlue started small. Southwest started small.
A couple of other ones, like a Belgian one, I think.
Definitely started small.
Yeah.
Because that's how Kaveen started. The company of Kaveen, in closing, they started with private jets, leasing out private jets, and that's how they was able to sell to NetJet, and that's how they opened up Kaveen,
event spaces and workspaces. But they started in Europe, didn't the UK?
Yeah, they started, and then they also started, private jets. I want to thank you so much for coming through, taking out your busy schedule, coming straight in from church, which is crazy. I really appreciate you. You've always been amazing, always been elegant. Everybody always wanted to get a chance to sit next to. Look at me, the OG, get to sit next to Kenya Cyrus. I appreciate you so much for coming in. I really do appreciate you. I appreciate you, sister, for coming in. Thank you. Another episode of A Better Conversation complete with that. We gone. We appreciate you.
Don't take my niceness for granted.
No, not at all. Not at all.